Well, Canada are the champions of the women's pairs. They won the title not only last year, but also in 1997. Can they make it 3 in a row? And now we really do have to take note of the world best time in these very, very fast conditions. And a very quick start there by the two Canadians. There's Teresa Luke, who came together with Emma Robinson just before the Vienna World Cup regatta this season. And since then, they've remained unbeaten.
They're on lane 1, Great Britain, last year's silver medalists, getting off pretty well there. And alongside them, Russia, who are fast starters, like to get out in front if they can. But here nearest to the camera, Canada, with Emma Robinson, who's sitting there in the bow seat. Quite a story around Emma. She had an operation for thyroid cancer earlier on in the winter, but has come storming back and start this race as favourites, as reigning world champions from last year.
Yes, on that occasion, Alison Korn was Emma's partner. Alison, who's had back problems, she's now back in the squad. And in fact, she's rowing in the 8, but so well have Teresa and Emma done that, of course, the partnership has been kept together by Al Moreau. But you can see the Russians there. They've taken that early advantage, and now the real question is, can they maintain not only this pace, but increase the pace, Dan, when the questions are asked of them?
Well, the Russians, in other events as well, have been finding they're going pretty tough in the second half of the race. They've been going out fast, going out well, but then fading a bit. But here, the Russian pair look very strong. They've got nearly a length on Canada and Germany. Germany just there in second place. And they're looking very strong, looking very relaxed. Let me just hand over to Miriam, who knows this event well. She's won a bronze medal at it.
Well, the field is still pretty tight for second, third and fourth. The Russians are way out in front. They look like they've got a dominating position, but can they hold it off? The Canadians, are they going to be able to sit there and remain confident and come through? The Germans sitting in third place at 500, the Australians in fourth, and Great Britain back in fifth. Kath is very good in the last part of the race, but they mustn't let the rest of the field get away too much from this at this stage of the race.
I was going to ask you that, Miriam, actually. In the semi-final, their undoing, almost their undoing, was the fact that they found themselves 4 seconds off the pace in the first half, and then they had to use a tremendous amount of energy to put themselves back in a qualifying position.
Yeah, they came back really, really well. And in fact, when you looked at the finish of that semi-final, they were right up there with first and second place. But as with all the crews here, we were fighting for lanes. You want to make sure you got the best lane for the final.
Canadians beginning to make a little bit of a move now in the second quarter to put themselves on terms with the Russian. And there you can see Emma there in the bow from Winnipeg, just asking for that little bit more.
Doing well. They're sitting there at 35 strokes a minute, and they're just pushing back. They've held the Russian move in that first 500, and now they're creeping back. Russia still moving very, very fluently, but the Canadian pair have a tremendously easy, long style. Great finish there as they finish off the stroke. Teresa Luke, really good finish there. She pushes it away at the end of the stroke. And look, there they are now, almost level, and they've done that in about 30 strokes.
Also trying to respond, you'll see the Australians in lane 6 closest to you, just about in third place ahead of the Germans as we come to the halfway part of the race. And then the Russians and the British duo, Dot Blackie and Kath Bishop, well, they're going to have to come with a real late rush. But these Canadians now, you can see they've got the bow of that boat ahead, and they're beginning to move away from the Russians.
It's looking very strong. It's been a very gradual but very, very definite move there at halfway. And but Russia holding on very, very well. Australia moving with Germany. Germany trying to hang on there, trying to hold off the Australian pair. But you've got some big experience here, some very experienced athletes. Canada, though, look as if they're going to move on there and move out into the front. Russia beginning to struggle a bit.
Well, the question is whether the Russians can actually hold off the young German duo of Kathleen Nasser from Potsdam and Elke Hippler from Essen. These two also come with a late charge, and there they are beginning to move up, and they know that they've also got warriors on their left-hand side from the green and gold of Australia, and that's in the bow. That's Rachel Taylor and Kate Slatter. They've disappeared, but they look as if they also are going to play a part in a moment in the finish of this race.
Yeah, the battle's on now. We've obviously got a gold medal result out here in front with Canada, but the battle's going on for second, third and fourth place. Nobody wants to come fourth. We've got to get a medal, they're all thinking. And that's what's going on behind these Canadians. That's the race that they're watching. You can see the Russians on the far side.
Yes, they don't look as if they've got that extra gear to hold off the rest. We'll have to see. Incidentally, Dan, before I let you back in here, just worth mentioning that, of course, this is an Olympic qualifying regatta, so already we know from the B final earlier today that the United States, the Ukraine and South Africa have also got boats through. All of these 6, though, in the final, they're assured of earning a place for their country in Sydney in the women's pairs.
Now, Russia's holding on very well there out in the rather unfavoured lane 2. They're doing pretty well holding off Australia, and they're going to have to do a lot of work if they want to get into silver medal position. It's Germany really just heading Australia. Russia moving up that rate, but still not looking quite as comfortable as Germany, who are looking very, very strong here as they come into the last 500.
That's Rachel Taylor on the right in foreground there from Victoria. Her partner, Kate Slater, who's an owner of the Australian Order of Merit for her exploits with Megan Still in winning the Olympics in 1996. And they are also getting really into medal contention. And these 2 Russians now, the angle is very deceptive as we come into the last 250. Those 2 Russians on the far side are now under real pressure.
Indeed it is, and they're under pressure from this young German duo who are just about a canvas down on them, moving up. But the Russians are really holding on well. They're really fighting it off. They went out very, very early. The question was, could they hold it off? No, they can't. It's Germany moving up, and they're just in the corner there. You can see Australia trying to get back on terms as well.
And this is really interesting because as the charge is coming now, so the clear water that the Canadians had is now being reduced to an overlap. The Germans have got just probably a little overlap there on the Canadians, and they're really sprinting towards the line now. And the Australians, who are just out of your picture, the angle doesn't tell you, but they are on terms now with the Russians as Teresa Luke and Emma Robinson take gold. The Germans get silver, and the Australians deny the Russians.
She comes back here and wins a gold medal.
And they've got another chance in the 8 tomorrow.